Hi, welcome back to Just Saying. We're here. We don't have names.
Can I be avocado queen today? That's
Avocado
my
Queen.
name.
Can I be Coffee King?
Yeah.
Avocado Queen and Coffee King. Back at it again. Oh my god, that works because our colors are green and brown. I almost said green and
I don't
orange.
know why you're about to say that.
um anyways, hi everyone. This week on this week we're going to be talking a little bit about our negative experiences with authority figures, and also the way that sometimes some people, just more so the concept that respect is earned, not given, you know? Yeah. Basically, I'm currently exhausted and running solely off of coffee because for some reason my body is wanting to shut down today.
Can I say it? Once, just once.
Yeah.
I'm running off of pussy juice.
She just walked into my house saying it, and now I'm not going to hear the end of it for the rest of the night. But anyways, yeah, I'm so tired, even though I did literally nothing today. Actually, I bought my prom outfit. That is what I did today. Okay, yeah, so I bought my prom outfit today. I'm very excited. I'm not going to talk about it on here because it needs to be a surprise, but it's going to be very good. And
It is very cute.
I'm very excited. And I'm changing my hair up, too, for prom.
You're also gonna try to get me in somehow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to volunteer.
We're going to figure something out.
It's only because he wants me to go.
That's not true.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to go.
You literally told me that you wanted to go, like,
Well, that's because you wanted me to go.
Anyways, so I'm very excited for prom.
Bitch.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah. That's basically all I did today besides, like, go to school. But
I talked on the phone all day.
for some reason, I'm exhausted.
Oh no, that's not all I did today. I went to the school because yesterday was a basketball game and somebody stole my freaking AirPods. Then they took my AirPods case off of the AirPods, which was attached to my keys, was why I really needed them. And then Everett found them, and turns out a little middle schooler stole them, run around the school with them, and then they stole my lanyard, so I don't even have that, but I got them back.
Real. Yeah, so I get a text from her, and she asked me if I could go look for her AirPods. So I go to the gym, and I see her AirPods case. Not as in, like, the case that you put the actual pods in, but, like, the outer case for the AirPod case. And I saw that just attached to, like, her little wrist thing with
my
keys. And I was like, hey, Queen, they're just simply not here. So then she did some Find My iPhone magic. I had to go talk to some middle school teachers. But eventually we did get the AirPods back.
And they left them in the lost and found. I could see them, like, walking to the lost and found with them. And then
I'm assuming what happened is the teacher that I talked to, like, asked her students, and then somebody was like, oh, I found them. And then the teacher went and put it there. Actually, no.
No.
That's probably not true because the person who found them probably went and put them there because...
Yeah, because I locked them.
Well, yeah, and because the person who had them, based on our suspicions, wouldn't have fessed up about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And
but
the
anyways...
person that we think it was.
The person that I'm 95% sure that it was.
Told me that it was in the lost and found. Like, I got there and they were like... And the lady at the front desk, she was like, oh, why are you here? I was like, oh, I came here, I left an item here. And then the person was like, oh, you're talking about AirPods? AirPod Pros? Yeah, they're in the lost and found. I was like, okay.
Which, like, is very strange to just randomly...
Yeah, because the only people that know is, like, you, Cabron, and then, like...
Because I didn't name anyone. Like, when I went, I was just like, oh, yeah, like, my friend lost something here. Didn't say any names. So, not sure how he would have known that it was her. But, anyways, yeah, just did nothing, basically, in school all day. And then, we had some pizza in fourth period. That was good. Then came home. And now we're here. Well, I did film a little TikTok vlog to go to Publix to buy cold brew because I had none. But that was it. But anyways, yeah. So that was my big, eventful, crazy, wild, insane, fantastic day that I had today.
So many adjectives.
I'm just an adjective kind of gal. What can I say?
Per.
Anyways. So, yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about this concept of, like, just authority figures, because we've both had
Fair share in my
a
life.
lot of questionable experiences with authority figures, like from our school and just in life in general. And I have always just kind of been frustrated with the idea of like, just because someone is an adult, like you owe them all of your respect and admiration and attention because they've been on Earth a little bit longer than you have. I think that's kind of stupid because, like being on Earth for a longer time doesn't necessarily mean that you're a better person or that you actually do deserve respect more than someone else. Because in a lot of cases, people take that respect or like take that authority that they're given and use it as a tool to like bully kids, and that pisses me off. Because I've seen it a lot at our school. We've
Ooh,
had
definitely.
we've had quite a few adults that like to do that. Because I just feel like a lot of teachers like have negative experiences like in high school.
I'm sorry, be real.
Have negative experiences in high school, and then like decide to go to college and then become a
Go ahead, keep talking. I was putting them out.
great. Um, so they just like kind of have bad experiences in high school, then graduate high school just to go to college and then become a teacher so that they can like get reparations for their bad high school experience. I don't know. I think it's really stupid, and I think that a lot of people don't deserve the titles that they hold
Ooh,
because
I got a
they
story
just
time.
misuse them. Go ahead.
Story time to sophomore year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking okay, so I had this group of friends at the time, and we were kind of like, in our heads, we were the sugar honey iced tea. Okay, we felt like we ran the school and this that and the third, whatever.
Which wasn't far off.
Low key, but like we didn't need to act like it. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah. But
it's
anyways,
okay.
yeah, you live and you learn.
Right.
But basically, there was like this ongoing joke with a certain teacher, and like people would bark at her because they would call her a dog and all this, which was hilarious to me. Honestly, I didn't.
Also pause. I would like to add that this teacher was really mean to her students. Like
Yes,
this isn't
she
like
was
just some
terrible.
nice teacher that
Yeah,
was
no.
innocent. Like she like targeted kids and was just mean for absolutely no reason.
Especially our group too
Yeah.
at the time. Anyway, but so then like there was this joke, but I didn't really know about it until you know further on along. But there was like about 3 kids in her class that would always like bark at her and stuff. And there was one incident in the hallway where like me and some of my friends we were kind of like just walking in the hallway, and one person had barked, and so well okay it was multiple people barking, but at the time it was like one person. We're not going to say who. Anyways, but she looks at me because I was making eye contact with her, not on purpose. I just happened to glance over. She was looking at me, and I looked at her, and so she just assumed it was me. And she went and told. First of all, at the time he was our cheer coach. She told him, and then he told, like the what's it called? What's what's his job? Athletic.
Athletic director.
Yeah, there you go.
What's his job? She says. By the
Because
way,
he be having too many, bro. He do
does.
too much. I
Let's.
can never.
That's a whole different topic because why do you
But
have 17 different jobs?
no, seriously. But yeah. So it got around to him, and so he had to tell like admin, and I got suspended for it. And I also was like suspended from the cheer team at the time because of that. And until this day, I will hold that against all of them who did not believe me. Because,
Real.
and then on top of that, I got more in trouble mainly because the dean of students at the time, she was a butt face. So she kind of like pushed it because they were just gonna give me like lunch detention kind of thing. And then she got involved, and they were like, no, she needs to be held accountable, and da 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 da. And I got suspended for it. It was only for a day, but the fact that I still got suspended for it was like
So stupid.
because at the time, I'm like I'm fresh in high school, so I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna go my permanent record and da 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 da. And honestly,
Which, like,
that don't.
in reality, by the way, if you're worried about your permanent record or attendance whatsoever,
Don't.
it only matters if you're like missing so much school that you can get in like trouble with CPS for it. That's the only time it matters. But let me tell you, no colleges care. Nobody cares. Um, but yeah, this woman was just really, she like, me and Deja weren't super close at the time. That was like the very, very beginning of us like being
That was
friends.
like, yeah, right when
So,
we like became friends.
we weren't like in the same friend group at the time, but like we would still like see each other in the hallways and like talk or whatever.
We started to
So,
hang out a little bit,
yeah, but it
but
was
like
like,
not a lot.
yeah, because like this was the year that we went into COVID. So I was a freshman and she was a sophomore. And this woman got there like at the beginning of that school year. And then, like, as everyone
First of all,
knows, we went into quarantine in March. So we
Yeah.
didn't get the full year.
But she, like, the first day, you know, I will never forget that day. The first day of school, we were all at lunch in the same friend group that I was just talking about. We were all at the lunch table. We like chit chatting it up or whatever. Someone had gum, so we were like passing the gum like throughout the whole table because everybody wanted gum. And I don't know, like two people were like they weren't fighting, but like they were like just joking around kind of thing. And then she came over there and was like, "Hey, y'all need to stop and da 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 da." Okay. Meanwhile, we were the like basically like most of the cheerleaders and most of the basketball players, but we were all black. First of all, this lady was
Yeah.
racist and she was black as well. She
Yeah,
hated her
but
own
you can
kind.
you can tell, oh, wow. But you can tell that she was like, it almost felt like she had been taught to like target the black kids of the school. Like it feels like
They did tell her like
because
low
it
key.
feels like, yeah, like it seemed like there was some sort of like briefing that went on that was like,
Yeah.
hey, watch out for these kids.
Yeah.
Because also like at the very beginning of the school year, they like sat us down in the cafeteria for like a presentation and they like introduced her to us. Do you not remember this? They like introduced her to us.
It was the first day of school.
I don't remember, but it was like really early on in the school year, and
Maybe
because
I
they were like,
You know,
this is, I'm gonna bleep that. They were like, this is this person, she's gonna be doing this, blah 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 blah, and I just remember her like getting on the microphone and being like, oh, like I know what you kids are doing and blah 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 blah, just basically like kind of coming. It felt like she came to the school not with like the goal of like bettering the school, but with the goal of like catching
Discipline.
kids doing bad things and disciplining them. Like she really had no intention of like making good connections with anyone. And it just kind of set the tone for like the entire year because never once did anyone have a positive experience with her from what I know.
No, seriously.
Because there was also the brownies situation.
Oh, I'm getting to that one too. That one really made me
Because,
mad.
well, she has so many better story times than I had because I quite literally, here's a fine example of the racial profiling accusation. I never once got any sort of discipline from her. Like, no suspension.
I got disciplined a lot for like other people's stuff too.
Well, yeah. But, like, I never got, like, I've never gotten a detention, lunch detention, ISS, OSS, like, nothing. And she got hounded that year for no reason.
No, for real.
But anyways, let's get into the brownies real
The
quick.
brownie ones. Wait, I have to go back to the first day of school.
Right.
They were passing the freaking gum around. She pulls like me and three other cheerleaders.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she pulls us out the lunchroom and was like, "Oh yeah, like, I'm new here. You know, I just want to get to know y'all and stuff. You know, however, I do want to let y'all know that like I was told about y'all and what's going on and da da da." We're like, and meanwhile, freshman year I did not get in trouble, like, which is new to me.
Because they also weren't doing anything. Like
No, seriously.
the stuff that they knew about was
the
like
only thing that they could say is we had smart mouths.
yeah, and like I mean, y'all were kind of obnoxious in the hallways, but besides
I
that,
wasn't.
but nobody was doing anything. Like it was nothing that actually mattered. It was just like stupid shit that nobody really ever gets in trouble for.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry.
brownie.
Continue. Yeah.
So I was in a Spanish class at the time. I had a Spanish class at the time, and so we had to like bring food in for like a project or whatever. and I had brought in brownies. First of all, I felt that anyway because I wasn't supposed to bring in brownies, but I couldn't think of anything else to bring. So
Yeah, wasn't it supposed to be like something that was like from a Hispanic country?
yeah, but it was like
Awesome.
it was the night before, and I was like, ah,
Good enough.
I had like a box of brownies in the pantry, so I was like, oh well. Anyway, I bring them to school. I walk into school. Like, she comes to me, like, as soon as I walk to the school. I'm like, well, okay, when you walk through the front door, it's like a little hallway, and then you turn. After I literally turn the corner, she's like, oh, let me see those. And I was like, I'm thinking she just wanted to see how good they look type junk. Because they was kind of cute. Like, you know, they was perfectly sized. And it was like on the platter. They wasn't still in, like, the little...
The baking sheet
Yeah,
or whatever. Yeah.
it was like on a little platter.
Yeah.
I had drizzled some.
She Food Networked that shit.
For real. Like, I had, look, if I'm gonna fail, at least I want to fail in style. So real.
That's merch right there.
But she's like, oh, do these have, substances in them? I was like, what? Like flour? Yeah. And she's like, can you come into my office real quick? I'm like, oh my god, here we go again. Meanwhile, this is after I got suspended. Wait, was it after I got suspended? I actually don't know if it was after. But anyway, at the time I just didn't like her. I knew I didn't like her. But
Nobody did.
no, for real. But so I go into her office and she's like, oh, what did you make these out of? I was like, I don't know, it's just like the box, like it's followed the directions type junk. She's like, oh, okay. Grabs one, take a bite, and she's like, oh, does this have weed in it? I look at her like, at the time, first of all, at the time, I was 15. I barely knew what weed was. Okay?
And also, if someone is bringing these, first of all, if they were weed brownies, why would you A, be bringing them on a platter, B, be bringing them for your class to try?
Exactly.
Like, this wasn't, first of all...
Like, I'm not gonna drug my whole class and my teacher.
And also, who wants to pay for that? Because, anyways, moving on.
But, like, I'm, like, looking at her like, are you for real? Like, I'm thinking she's trying to joke with me to try to, like, get me on her good side or something. And she's, like, full on dead serious. I'm like, so she calls my mom. My mom curses her out because, what are you talking about? Like, you think, and plus, first of all, I told her my mom helped me anyway. Why would my mom help me make weed brownies? That makes literally no sense. And why would I bring them to school? Especially since I know that you're, like, disciplining everybody for literally, like, the smallest little things.
Right.
So why would I do that? Like,
fucking
that's
airport
dumb.
Security up
Like,
in that bitch.
no, seriously. Like, oh my god.
They might as well have had metal detectors at that point, because, like, that's
No,
what it felt like. It literally felt like walking into, like,
no,
prison.
that year,
And
the amount of drug dogs that came up in there.
Yes. Oh my god. Didn't that happen twice in that 1 year?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it hasn't happened since, and she's gone now.
Yeah.
Because basically, like, she was there for that 1 year, and then I guess she got fired when we went into COVID, because, like, you don't really need, like, a dean of students or, like, hall monitor type person if there's
they
no
said that she
students in the
just got
hall.
a better job, honestly.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Because how did you get a better job?
They
But
said
yeah,
she
she
got, like,
was
a better job in,
really-
like, Texas or something.
She literally would just stand in hallways and, like, scream at people. Like,
No,
genuinely,
oh
like,
my
every single day. Like,
God.
we would just be, like, sitting in the hallway. We have a 5-minute passing period. So, like, you get out of class at 10:25. Your next class starts at 10:30. So you have 5 minutes. Our school is small, too, by the way. It doesn't take very long to walk from class to class. So there's time to, like, be in the hallways, like, fill your water
Mingle.
bottle, talk to your friends, whatever, go to your locker. So, like, I would literally see a friend in the hallway and, like, have a quick conversation, and she'd be like, get to class, like, blah, blah, blah.
No, for real.
Or, like, I need these hallways clear in 30 seconds, blah, blah, blah. Like,
and we got, like, 2 minutes left.
Yeah, it's 10,
Go
it's
change your
10:58, and you're yelling me. No, literally.
Please. Oh, also, this one time, I think I was in, like, a math class at the time. And I went to the bathroom because one of my friends at the time, they, like, on their period, so they needed, stuff.
Yeah.
So I went to go help her out, as a friend should. And so I go to my locker, and then she's like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, what does it look like I'm going to my locker? Like, she's like, what are you doing out in the hall? She's like, do you have a pass? So I, like, flash my pass. I'm like, and I continue opening my locker. And she's like, oh, so you want to be disrespectful? I'm like, so
Like,
I
she
didn't
just
say
wanted
nothing.
to pick a fight.
No,
I swear.
seriously. So I didn't say nothing. And she literally looks at me and, like, walked up to me. And she's like, I asked you a question. And I said, and I didn't answer it. And so she's like still talking to me, yelling at me, but I didn't care. I ignored her and I grabbed this stuff and I went to the bathroom. She tried to come in the bathroom with me, but like she can't really do that apparently. But
Yeah, no, staff are not allowed in the
so
restrooms.
so I helped the girl out. I stayed in there with her because she was upset. She was crying, like it was all over her pants and stuff, whatever. So I helped her out. I gave her like my practice clothes. We had practice or something. I think it was practice. Yeah, probably was. But anyway, so I gave her my spare pants and I gave her stuff that she needed. And we in there for like maybe like 2-3 minutes. We walk out. She's standing right by the door. Right by the door. She's like, "Oh, are you okay? I heard you crying in there." We don't say nothing to her. We just walk back to class.
Cause like it just she was so annoying. I just like I every interaction that I had with her was negative. Like there was just never a moment where I saw her like smiling. And the only time she ever looked happy or like would talk to somebody like as a human was like if it was an adult. But like she genuinely treated kids as if they were like I don't know, prisoners or something. Like it just felt like that's just where my big issue comes in is like when you start talking down to kids, because it's one thing like I understand that there's a difference between a student and a teacher. Like I know I don't necessarily expect to be treated as an equal like in a school setting.
Yeah.
But like if you're sitting there like genuinely treating every single kid like they're doing something wrong and like they need to be punished for something, then like you're never going to be like connecting with anyone. And like what is the point of I just like why would you work in an environment with kids if you're going to treat them all terribly? It just doesn't make sense to me.
And also we went to well, he still goes, I don't anymore, but I went to a school where there are kids with like certain disabilities.
Yeah.
And there was this one situation I will never forget that because literally like I felt like she deserved to lose her job that day. It was a certain kid who like usually like we already know we've been there for like well, he's been there for a couple years. I've been how many years were you there at the time?
By that point that was my second year.
Okay, it was my second year then too. But so it was this kid like we knew that like he's the type to like just like run down the hallway and stuff, but he still got his work done, so it didn't like nobody really like cared that much because like
yeah,
what are you gonna say,
right,
let him do him. So once he gets his work done, they just let him run the hallways and it's fine as long as he has a pass because that's how the school worked for us.
Yeah, because sorry to cut you off, but they also like because they like prioritize like people with like IEPs and 504s and stuff, so like they build like a lot of our school is like building like making sure that you get what you need as a student if you have a special need of some sort. So like if you need like a 5-minute break, like you can take that, and obviously there are certain things like in your IEP or whatever type of plan that you have that allow you to do certain things as needed. So typically in a situation like that, if an adult sees someone out in the hallway with a pass, they would just mind their business because if the teacher gave them a pass, there's a reason.
Exactly.
They wouldn't question anyone about it. Exactly. Sorry, continue.
And also, even the kids that don't have them either, like even
you're still like if I can raise my hand and go out in the hallway.
Like if I just ask and so yeah, it's fine. Anyway, but yeah, so he's like just running the hallways like he usually does. And I'm like in the hallway, I'm like getting water, like I'm filling up my water bottle at the time, and I see him running down the hallway, so I'm like, I just say hey, he says hi, and like he goes about his business. Then here go big stomp, walking down the hallway. She calls his name, and she's like, can you come here for a second? So he goes up to her, and he's like, he's just rocking, chilling. He has headphones in at the time. He has some big headphones. Anyways, but he has headphones in, so he like puts them to the side, like one side to the side, and he had like over the head headphones in. So he puts one to the side, and he's like, just like listening to what he's about to say, and then she's like, oh, you need to go back in your classroom. You shouldn't be out in the hallway. I don't say nothing because I'm out of my business. So he didn't really say nothing. He just showed her his pass, and then she's like, I don't care about that. You need to go back in the hallway. And I was like, so at the time I was like, this is wrong. So I tell her, I was like, this is how he usually is. Like this, that's what he does once he gets his work in. And then like the teachers usually just let him run the hallways. This is the beginning of the year, so she really technically didn't know, but at the same time, you're supposed to know, because
'Cause
like
that's
they
stuff that
give
you
you the
get
job.
briefed on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they give you the job, they let you know what's going on up in the school for real.
Like, she very clearly came from, like, a public school that had a lot of issues.
Yeah,
and, like, had a lot of students that needed to be disciplined. And you could very easily tell that, like, she was used to having to discipline kids, so she didn't know how to act in an environment where people, like, behave for the most part. I mean, like, there are definitely some kids that, like, needed certain disciplining.
Yeah.
But, like, it's not the type of thing where, like, 10 people are getting suspended per
No,
day.
seriously.
Like, it's just, like
if
someone gets suspended, like, it's a big deal because there's,
I've
like...
probably seen one fight, like, all 4 years of high school. One. And it
I
lasted,
almost saw one the other night.
Oh, for real? Oh, at the
At the
game?
game.
Oh, yeah. At the game. It was before.
It was one of the assistant coaches tried to fight one of the basketball players. One of the assistant coaches for the opposing team, like, was talking smack to one of our basketball players. And it was really weird.
Yeah.
Because he was a full-grown adult talking to, like, a 16-year-old. Anyways, because, like, also get a job. Because they lost, and then were talking bad. So, like, if you're going to be a sore loser, do it in style, at least.
No, for real. If you're going to say something, at least say something that's funny.
Yeah. Like, nobody was laughing.
But yeah.
So that woman just really caused so many issues. She's gone now, thankfully.
Yeah.
So I don't have to deal with her
honestly,
anymore.
like, how are you, like, they had to tell you what's going on in the school.
Yeah.
So how can you be a staff member at a school with, first of all, the kid, he was autistic, you feel me? And you could tell, so, you know, like, he was farther, like, on the spectrum type thing. So you could, like, understand that, like, this is what he needs right now.
Yeah.
And she's like, keeps telling me to go in the hallway. So I'm like, well, this is how he usually is. She's like, I don't care. Like, no one needs to be in the hallway if they don't need to be. Like, he's not doing anything. He's just walking. But I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you, girl.
Yeah.
But
yeah, one thing about our school that I'm happy about is that, like, just going there has, like, taught me how to, like, deal with people that need, like, special help with certain things. Like, I feel like a lot of people, it's just, like, not normal to be, like, taught how to, like, be around people that are autistic, which, like, sounds, whoa, let me rephrase. That makes it sound like autistic people need special training to be around. But I mean, like, if, like, a lot of people just don't know how to respond to someone who's neurodivergent and has some sort of, like, freak out or reaction to something.
Right.
So, like, I'm glad that our school has, like, showed us how to do that, because it's,
honestly,
like, a good
it's
skill to
helped
have.
me a lot, because even me, like, I'm glad that, like, the school really did teach me, because there was a lot of stuff that I didn't know about myself and about other people that it did help. Like, it helped, you know, figure out stuff. And it, honestly, like, the school kind of helps you become a better person for people.
Yeah,
especially
the people
coming into the real world.
The people who are willing to grow as people and, like, mature will actually benefit from going there. Like, from what I know, I'm neurotypical, I think. I'm, like, 95% sure that I have ADD or ADHD, but,
I
like,
have ADHD.
but I'm, like, I don't think that I'm autistic, but I still benefit from, like, the stuff that's been taught to me from going there. And, like, I know that, like, if I need a break, it's okay to take one. Like, I'm just glad that I didn't necessarily go to, like, a normal public school, because I feel like that's just something that nobody has ever taught about. Like, obviously there are, like, special ed kids at other schools and stuff, but, like, yeah. So, yeah. But, yeah, so we've had some questionable people. There was also, last year, one of our favorite teachers, had an assistant teacher who, they were just kind of polar opposites, and it didn't really make sense for them to be, like, grouped together.
Who are you talking about?
Our favorite
What
teacher,
class?
who's a young lady who taught American literature with an old man who did not need to be in that room.
I know, I liked him.
No, you didn't. He
At
literally
time.
made you cry.
Oh, that's just because, bro. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
That's what I was getting at.
Oh,
'Cause
it was just like one incident, low key.
I didn't like him. It didn't really make sense. In my opinion, it didn't really make sense for them to be grouped together, because they're just very polar opposite. Like, he's more of a, like,
They low
do your
key.
work and pay attention, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. When an adult is speaking, don't speak. And then she's very, like, go with the flow, like, I don't really care, like, as long as you learn and pay
Get your work
attention.
done. Type. Yeah.
So he just kind of ruined that vibe for me. But now she's paired with a teacher who fits her very well, and that makes me very happy. But I'm pretty sure.
Story.
What'd you say?
I want to tell the story.
Okay. But basically, to give some context, at the time, in our second semester of last year, so second semester of junior year and her second semester of senior year, we were both in anatomy together and American literature. And that was second semester, right? American lit? Okay. Whatever. Yes,
like that.
it was. Yeah. So we were both in American lit and anatomy together. And our anatomy teacher was just constantly giving us a hard time. And, like, that class,
without him on my
that
back.
class was genuinely the hardest class that I've ever taken. And I don't think that it's because the material is difficult, but I think that it's genuinely just, like, his teaching style does not work for me whatsoever.
Oh my god.
And it was just, like, really difficult. Like, we failed almost every test. Like, genuinely. And, like, I'm a person who's, like, I like to consider myself, like, generally smart. Like, I don't think I have, like, a 3.5 GPA. Like, I'm not a genius or anything. But, like, I can pass with, like, high or, like, medium A's and high B's if I, do my work. But, like, his class was just not cutting it for me.
It was mainly the fact that, like, he didn't like us and we didn't like him. Honestly,
and he was getting on us every
we didn't even.
single
Honestly, I
day.
don't even know why he didn't like us. We didn't do anything. That was the first time I've ever had his class too.
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't. No, I do know why he didn't like me. It's because of the barking situation. That's why he didn't like me.
But yeah, we were in this class, and we would sit, like, in the back at this table, or at, like, two separate tables, kind of. But, like, we were all grouped together with, like, two other people, two of our other friends, and he would just kind of get on us every day, like, for just random stuff.
Only all four of us though.
Just, like, get off your phone, stop talking, blah 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 blah. But, like, didn't care if anybody else was doing other stuff. And, like, his desk is at the front of the room, obviously. And, like, we were sitting at the back. So, like, he would purposefully, like, look past everybody else in the class to talk to our table across the room and be like, stop doing that. So it was just very clear that for some reason he had some sort of issue with us. And, like, we weren't, I mean, like, sure, there were definitely times that we talked or whatever. But, like, it was never that serious. Like, we're not, like, bad students. Like, I'm never sitting here, like, talking shit about a teacher to their face and, like,
But also, like, we weren't that loud. Like,
Yeah.
we weren't, like, talking at normal level. Like, hey, man, yeah. No, we were kind of, like,
and also, usually, if we were talking about something, it was something that, like, was
had to
important.
do with it.
It was either something
the
that had to
word.
do with class or something that was important. Like, it was second semester, so we would be talking about, like, their graduation or prom. Or, like, we were planning stuff for student government, so we would be talking about that. And, like, just
But we
random...
also didn't talk, like, while he was talking.
Yeah. So it would normally just be, like, school-related things, and we weren't talking over him. So there should have been no issue. But anyways, now we get to Deja's story. About
So,
old man.
not old man. But, in the American literature class, the one of the teachers in the class had, he wasn't that bad. It was just this certain situation. Like, we were pretty cool. Like, he was kind of like a grandpa to me, or like a really old uncle type of deal. But, like, it was okay because my personality was like the other teachers, so it was kind of like we just kind of like bounced off of each other. Like, I was like, "Woo, go team!" He was like, "Boo, team." So it was like kind of like,
yeah. I just felt like they were a weird pairing because she's very much like I said, like a go with the flow kind of like, like
stick up.
Her birthday's literally the day after mine. Like, we are almost the same exact person. Like, genuinely, if I were a teacher, I fully believe that I would be exactly like
yeah,
her.
I would too.
We are almost the same person. So I just think that it's like, just that pairing didn't make sense to me because, like, she would be talking about something and then, like, he would randomly, like, yell at a kid for talking and, like, she would make a face because she's not, like, a very strict teacher. She'll just be, like, she's just kind of always, like, she gets serious, but she's always kind of like, if someone's talking, she'll be like, why are you talking when I'm talking? And like just like laugh it off and then continue her lesson. But like he would very much be like, please do not talk when an adult is speaking. Like just like
Yeah.
very like I don't know. It was annoying.
He was
But
a
I'm sorry.
lot. No,
Tell your
you're good.
story.
But it was one day we were talking. We were actually talking about this topic.
Yes.
Actually,
Well, because we had a class
I
period
don't
where
remember
we were.
why.
It was because we had a class period where we had finished all of our work for the semester. Like we had finished the curriculum for American literature, so we genuinely had nothing to do. So she like asked us to tell her, or asked us what we wanted her to teach us about, like as far as like real life stuff that like we don't necessarily get taught in school. So like kids were like, tell us how to do our taxes and blah 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 blah. And like something that I think we had talked about was like I think either I brought it up or you brought it up, but just like the concept of teachers talking down to students,
I
because
think I
like
did.
because we were having a lot of issues with that anatomy teacher at the time, so it was like relevant in our day because
Yeah.
like we had anatomy second period and then American literature third period, so like we had lunch in between, but it was basically like right after each other. um so yeah, anyways.
But oh, and also they were like kind of friends too, like
Yeah,
low
yeah,
key.
yeah, yeah. The teacher of our anatomy class and then the older
Literature.
male teacher of our literature class.
Yeah, so we were kind of just like talking about it, and I had brought up how I was like upset about how the anatomy teacher was treating us. Oh, sorry.
You're good.
But so I just started talking about it as to I said his name in the classroom, and then the male adult teacher was like, "Oh, like don't say like their name, just say a teacher." And I was like, I burst out. He first of all he interrupted me and he said it in a rude way, so that already
Yeah,
was
he like yelled.
yeah, he kind of like yelled at me. I was like, okay. So I kind of just brushed it off and I just continued what I was talking about. And then he like, so I don't even remember what I was talking about, but I basically was just going into like how like adults kind of have to like earn people's respect. Like just because you're an adult doesn't mean that I have to respect you just because, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just kind of talking about it. And then I don't even really remember the conversation for real, but I don't know. He interrupted me after I was talking. And then he was like, I don't know. We were just kind of going back and forth for a second, like literally like 1 second. He kind of like dismissed like what I was saying, and he literally like proved my point.
Yeah.
While
His
like
his exact words were, "I'm going to shut this conversation down."
yeah,
Because it's not okay to talk about other people when they're not in the room.
yeah, like
That is exactly what he said.
and then so the female teacher that we had, she was well. First of all, he said that, and then I was like, well, I'm just saying like how I feel, and like I'm just trying to say that like people have to like earn my respect, just like I have to earn your respect type of deal, right? Like it's 50-50. I earn your respect, you earn mine type thing.
Yeah.
And he literally like shut my conversation down, and he like was yelling. First of all, he was the fact that he was yelling and he shut my conversation down, and the fact that he literally just said he literally explained he literally did what I was trying to explain on what teachers do.
Yeah.
And so I like started to tear up a little bit. Like I was like, it really wasn't the fact that I was sad. It was really because I was frustrated. Like literally, like I felt like I couldn't say anything else because
Yeah.
I felt like I couldn't do anything or say anything else. So
Yeah.
I put my head down and I started like tearing up or whatever. The room went completely silent.
And also like so basically like this teacher, the female teacher that we love, she was kind of like I guess I would say like our favorite teacher.
But she
we,
definitely was.
we would talk to her about our lives. Like,
Like
we would
our
we would
everyday
come in
lives,
we would come in
personal
we would
lives.
come into class. She still does this. We come into class and she'd be like, "So how's everyone's days going? Like, what did you do this weekend?" And like genuinely like we would have full on conversations, and like she's like actually interested in our lives and like the things that like
And even
make
when
us
I
happy
come,
and like things that make us sad, and like we talk to her about stuff like this. So like we would come to her and be like, "Oh, this teacher is doing this and like it's frustrating because like we feel like we can't do blah blah blah." Like we would have these conversations with her like one on one.
and it wasn't even for like advice or anything. It was just someone that would listen to us.
Yeah, because she also like she's like closer to our age
Yeah.
than most teachers, so she like understands what we're talking about. So she like we were just kind of used to having these conversations with her, and like she obviously, as she was like technically the main teacher, so like she would be sitting at the front of the room and then his desk was at the back of the room. So like we were having this conversation like directly with her. Like we weren't, it wasn't like a um like we weren't like sitting in a circle or whatever. Like he wasn't standing at the front of the room and then interjected. Like we were having this conversation, like making eye contact with her, and then he like yelled from the back of the room like to stop doing this or
And
whatever.
I was pretty close to the front of the room too.
Yeah, because we were basically like
in the front.
There was like a table in the middle, and then there was like tables making kind of like a U shape around our table, and we were sitting like in the middle, and then here's like the front of the room. So like we were basically sitting at the front.
Right.
And he just like yelled across the room and shut the conversation down, and like
Completely.
the room went silent. Like you could hear a pin drop in that shit.
But literally, like for me, it was like low key also embarrassing too, because now I'm upset and mad, and now I'm starting to tear up in front of the whole class. Like, come on, like, oh my god, like that's
also nobody cared, like nobody, because like
they all like knew, like
yeah, because that was also like
the same way,
because it was like basically how our school is so small. Like it was half of they basically what they do for like each class that's like required for a grade level is they'll like take the whole grade and like split it in half, and then put each half of the grades into separate classes. So like there were 2 American literature classes. Mm-hmm. There was one with one half of the juniors and one with the other half of the juniors.
And then there was me, the senior.
And then she
First
was like,
of all, there were 2 other seniors, and they left me.
Yeah, but Deja was added to our American Lit class, so it was like all juniors and then Deja basically. But it was like the half of the juniors that's like the better half. Like it's the people who would understand this and like agreed with us on these issues. Like nobody was disagreeing here.
Yeah, so like when I'm talking about it, I was looking around and everybody's like...
Yeah, everybody was like... Because also people have had these similar... Like have had very similar experiences with the same people. And other people. And they were like chiming in and being like, oh yeah, like I understand what you're saying. Like blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So...
Bro.
And she also cried that day. It wasn't about that, but she did cry in class that day about something else. So it just like...
She cried a little bit about that too.
Yeah.
Mainly because I was crying.
Yeah, well, because it genuinely went silent for, I think, like a minute or two.
Yeah.
Like it was like 60 to 120 full seconds of silence. Like not
and then
a
she's
single
like,
sound.
yo, I will never forget that, because like literally she like, once it was silent, and then she was like, okay, so what we're not going to do is shut down anyone's feelings or any conversation, especially when someone is opening it up. Like she was just like, she had my back, because
she said I'm gonna reopen this conversation. We just won't use people's names. And then
I didn't talk for the rest of the day.
Yeah, but I kept talking because that pissed me off. First of all, because she was sitting we were literally sitting this close. So like,
and I'm very aggressive. I'm not like, I don't really show too many like sad emotions. I'm like, I'm very aggressive and very like dominant and very like, I'm always like smiling or laughing or joking around, doing crazy stuff, whatever. But like, I'm not the type of person to sit there and cry. Yeah. You know? So it was clearly a problem.
Yeah. So that just was another big issue that we had there. But I mean, I still love that teacher to this day. She is one of my favorite people.
Even when I go there, like she still asks me about my day and stuff, and I still tell her about my day.
She literally told us that we could come to her wedding. Like I love her so much.
She's trying to move. She's trying to move out of the state.
She thinks she's moving out of the state, which is really funny.
We don't stalk her.
Yeah, that's not happening. But anyways, yeah. So those are some of our experiences we've had with authority figures in school. Yeah. Basically, moral of the story: if you're an adult, please be nice to kids.
And I don't have to respect you just because you're older than me.
Yeah. If you treat us nice, we will treat you nice.
Real.
You don't have to talk down to us. You don't have to discipline us for no reason. You can just be a normal person, because even though we're kids, we are not, like, I don't know, criminals. Like, we're not, there's no reason for you to be yelling at us. Unless we are genuinely doing something that actually matters. And I can tell you for a fact that there are people in that building who do bad things that actually mattered. And at the time, there were people in the building who did things that actually mattered, that deserved to be yelled at. And instead, we were getting yelled at because we were talking about our feelings. So
that is so stupid. Anyways. But yeah.
Basically, please treat kids nicely, because if they're opening up to you about their emotions, they don't need to be yelled at in that moment. And it was unnecessary. Yeah, and I will stand by that. Um,
To the people.
yeah, real.
I'm sorry. Oh yeah, happy Black History Month.
Real. Real. Um, I had something else that I was going to say, and I don't remember what it was. Hold on, it's going to come to me. I got this. It was related to this topic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I was just kind of talking about, the other day I was having a conversation with someone, like one of the moms that I carpool with, and I was just kind of talking about, like, we currently have this assistant principal at our school who is almost like a light version of the dean of students that we were talking about earlier. Like, they have similar behaviors, but like they're not the same person. But I was just kind of talking about how like she frustrates me or whatever, and I was just kind of saying that like it really bothers me when people use their power to like, it almost, I don't know if oppressive is the right word, but it just feels kind of like you have the ability to like use your power to like, I don't know, make these kids feel bad, and that's what you're doing. It just feels very like immature almost. Like, I just don't understand how you can be like a full grown adult and sit there and think that you need to like tear kids down in order to like be
Lift
comfortable,
yourself up.
because that's just not when I say this, I genuinely seek therapy. Like, that is actually like a sign of some sort of mental thing that's going on there. And I'm being so serious to any adults watching this. If you use your authority to try to tame kids into doing what you want them to do, there's actually, they're doing great things in therapy now. So I would suggest that for you. Yeah. But I don't know. Do you have anything else to add? Yeah, I don't think I have anything else on this topic. That was basically it. But I just wanted to talk about this because this is something that I'm very passionate about. Because I have very much been raised with the idea that kids and adults are not different, aside from the fact that occasionally there is a different title there or a different position, but there's no genuine difference as a human being because
I was not, but I'm not crazy, so
makes sense.
turned out
Yeah.
pretty okay, I guess.
Like, I never really grew up like my parents didn't even raise me like, there was nobody in my life that I ever called like Miss or Mister until I got to school, because my parents think that that's a stupid
Did you ever
concept.
say like ma'am or sir?
No,
I did to
because
my parents,
I
but
didn't.
I just thought it was funny.
Well, I do it now like as a joke, but like my parents were very much like they hate when my friends call them like Mr. blah 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 or Miss blah blah blah. Like, they always insist on like people using their first names because they just,
I don't do that.
I mean, my dad literally had like a kids radio show. Like, he loves kids and he thinks that kids are, he treats kids as their equals, because I think that that is more beneficial to the growth of a child's brain if they don't think that they should fear adults and fear trusting adults. But yeah, anyways, that's all I have to say on this.
Same.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, completely unrelated, but I got a new phone.
Yeah. I'm gonna steal his other case, his clear case. I'm gonna steal it.
Real. I got the iPhone, what is it? The 11, no, not 11.
13?
The 14
14?
Plus. I got the light blue one. I got my little wildflower case on there. Got my little swan case and my little gems around the camera. You can barely see it, but it's okay. Maybe. Yeah.
Future Everett, insert picture now.
Right.
do
If
that?
you are listening to this, I have a wildflower case that has
No.
swans on it.
If you listen to it, you should follow the Instagram, because maybe it'll be on there, maybe it won't. It won't.
It probably won't. But
Follow it anyway.
you should also follow the Instagram.
And the TikTok.
Yeah.
And the Twitter.
All of our social medias are at JustSayPod. If you want to email us about any topics you want us to talk about, or any business inquiries, or any if you want to come on and talk to us, our email is thejustsayingpodcast@gmail.com. All of that is also in the description. All of my social medias are at Everett Cortland.
Oh. Oh, Deja.Ayana. Everything.
Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. Also, we are starting to post on Saturdays now, because it is just too hard for us to schedule recording and stuff during the week to get it all posted by Friday. So Saturday is our new day. We're sticking with it. Thank you so much for watching and or listening.
Out!
We love you. You're the coolest ever in the world. Bye.